A lot of work, yeah.
I need some feedback. People, please.
Okay.
That's all I had for public
That's all you
today.
have.
I'm going to save the other issues for next week. We were going to talk about benefits a little bit.
Okay.
But I want to wait for the county attorney. I think Deeds needs to be here, and Kathy Garrett. So
Okay.
we can do that. And I will get that from you.
Just to fill you in a little bit, we've had a preliminary meeting with the union, with our attorney, and have asked department heads to come up with things that they would like to see changed in the union contract. Just to keep you informed that we are going to be moving ahead, and we want to have our ducks in order before we meet with the union rep from the employee side.
Okay, I did have one more thing.
Okay.
Last year, we had put together a health insurance committee in determining our health care for this past year. And next year, as everyone knows, Primex is not going to be in the health insurance business, so we need to move ahead. I got a notification from Granite Group Benefits. They're having a seminar this fall on benefits and strategies and et cetera. So I think maybe a couple of people from our group should attend this.
Where is it?
It's down in Manchester. It's on the 27th of September. It's probably like half a day, maybe till like 2, 8:30 to like 2. But I think it would be good for at least a couple of us to attend. And then I got another email from Andy Dillman from IPG Benefits, who I've talked to in the past, and when he worked for another company, and he'd be interested in coming up and speaking with our group the next time we meet. So I'd like to try to pull our group together, and so I'll send out an email and see when people want to get together and try to figure out who wants to attend these. But I think some of the features that Primex handles for us, for example, COBRA, our flexible spending, we need to either find a company to do that, or we're going to end up doing that ourselves. So some of these companies can speak to that. Okay.
Has Primex offered anything? I thought they were going to...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead. I mean, they were going to help us,
right?
Everybody that's with them,
Yeah.
come up with a solution.
I did speak with Carl Weber. They're going to have a series of seminars in the fall, but he did say that I could reach out to Harvard directly.
Yeah.
So I will do that. I haven't had a chance to do that, but I spoke to him the end of last week.
I wonder if they could be on our annual meeting in October at the Settlers Green as a program.
Harvard or Primex?
Oh.
Okay.
And has anything further been talked about with regard to pooling, the pooling issue?
It would take almost 2 years, they told me, to put this thing together.
Yeah.
From the New Hampshire Association of Counties.
They were trying to pull a meeting together again, Commissioner, but they weren't able to get everybody together this summer. So I think September is the next meeting. And they'll probably...
Just judging by what I'm hearing, news items regarding one of the companies that a lot of them are signed up with, legal, municipal...
Government,
Yeah.
municipal government?
Yeah, that one. You're right. They have an issue right at this moment. So given that, I was
Legal.
wondering, they have a legal issue. So I was wondering, if that's going to have some effect on the ideas or the thoughts of the people who are now with them, as to maybe they'd be more interested in a pooling situation than they were previously.
Okay, public input? Mr. Albee?
Oh, you want to go first, David?
Oh, you go ahead, sir. Age before beauty.
A couple of things. First of all, I think you got to keep your eyes on this health insurance issue when you're talking about the union negotiations, because when you negotiate a contract, the benefits are negotiated within the contract. If you have to change the benefit package even minutely later on, you reopen the negotiations. So if you can establish what criteria you're going to have, and that criteria is available in the marketplace for health insurance, that's very important to get done prior to the negotiations, because it just makes the world a lot easier to deal with. Secondly, back to the old nursing home project for a second. We were asked to, and I specifically was asked to reduce into writing some sort of ideas regarding the utilization of that building.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ledger, I mean, I don't remember, other than a couple of times in the recent past, that anybody's asked these other folks to reduce to writing their notion. So when,
These other folks meaning who?
meaning whoever's in favor of reducing the building to nothing.
I see, yeah.
Let's have in writing what those costs are going to be and what their intent is for housing things like the pellet boiler and the laundry, or are we eliminating the laundry, and what is the cost of the rental that's going to be continuing with the cooperative extension. I mean, it doesn't take an awful lot of effort, but it does take some to create a financial model. And it's very easy for people from the other side to just sit there and diss that particular financial model without ever coming up with anything on their own. So if Representative McConkey or Commissioner Kenny or whoever wants to get rid of that building want to present that as a position, then let's see the financial ramifications of that.
Yeah.
In writing. At which point, just as we put in writing what the alternatives for the new nursing home project were and how that would play out over time, that puts whoever created that document on the spot for having that come into reality.
Mr. Albee, I received an email from you, and I'd like to know who authors the numbers. You come up with several numbers.
Who authored them?
Yeah.
I authored them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what's the, I wouldn't have sent you an email from somebody who wrote something else. I mean, I understand other people write things for them and they claim to have them as their own.
I'd just like to know where the numbers are coming from. Are you an expert? I mean, you're not a, where are the numbers coming from? You just make up the numbers?
No. And I'm as expert as you're going to find in this room generally at any time when it comes to creating a financial model that reflects reality. And unlike most of the folks that you're going to deal with and have dealt with, I actually have done business plans and have done business models, and some have succeeded.
You know, it's interesting you say that, getting some information from the other side, because last night I couldn't sleep about this subject, and I thought of the same thing. It's time that somebody else came up with other opportunities or other suggestions as to what we're going to do with that old building, and not put it all on the commissioners. Mr. Babson.
I think Mr. Albee has a good idea, and I'd like to see the commissioners do the same thing. I'd like to see the two in favor of keeping the building come up with some figures, and the commissioner that isn't come up with her figures on how she is going to pay for the costs of if you take down the nursing home.
Yep.
So I think it'd be a good part on both the delegation and the commissioners.
Yeah.
And it really is, I mean, it's a pretty clean deal either way, because in either instance, for the next 2 years, you're not going to see any tax increases. And the ultimate, generator of ideas from the delegation is, and to a certain degree from the commission, is to have no tax increases. And we've realized 3 years with little or no tax increases, and I can't imagine there's going to be any change in the taxes for the next 2 years. Given the amount of revenue and given the cost of the new building And given all of the things that have gone into what creates taxes in this county, you've got a 2-year window, and at least, and maybe even longer than that.
Mhm.
So it's not really about whether or not taxes are going up or down. It's utilizing space efficiently and utilizing the county money efficiently.
I think that's the key, is efficiency. The way I look at it, we've got 2 storage box trailers over there, and we've got another building where maintenance is using 3 outside facilities,
Yeah.
and putting it all into one facility would make sense as far as efficiency is concerned. Plus, there's no heat. When it snows, they have to plow in front of those other 3 facilities. It just makes sense to make it more efficient to put it in one of the wings. But I agree. Any further comment? Yes, Damon?
And Representative Davison probably went over this before I got here, but I was wondering what your take on the Monday subcommittee was.
Oh, no, I didn't go.
You want to answer that question?
I don't know that it's my job to answer it. I
Okay.
just went as a member of the public, and as Commissioner Sorensen did, and as
No, he
Damon
wasn't
did.
there.
Solomon, I wasn't there.
Or Dorothy,
You were there,
too,
Excuse
right?
me,
Yeah.
You were there.
Commissioner Solomon went, and just a member of the public.
Okay.
Do I think there was something accomplished? Yeah, but not an awful lot.
And Commissioner Solomon, what was your take on it?
Well,
If you were here in the beginning,
I
you
did
would have heard
report.
her.
I'm sorry.
But
No.
I did report on the question that I was asked to put to the New Hampshire Association of Counties. That answer will be forthcoming. And I reported on a couple of the items that they spoke of. I thought that in particular the idea that Representative Stephen came up with made some sense as to looking at when we go into negotiations to have available to us all of what goes on in other counties, but looking at them from the perspective of demographics and all the issues that would make it equal to what we're talking about. So that made a whole lot of sense.
What I thought was interesting, and everybody stopped short of really kind of calling it out, was Representative McCarthy showed this law that said if you spend money on yourself as an elected official and it's not to the purpose of what the money was approved for, it could be a misdemeanor. But then everybody was railing about the gloves and the boots.
What?
The gloves and the boots.
Oh, the gloves and boots.
So it just seemed like,
Glove gate.
yeah, it seemed like you're saying
So
if you put 2 and 2 together, you come up to a conclusion that would not be so good for the sheriff. But I'm not sure if anybody went there.
Not going there.
The problem that I see with Representative McCarthy is he's got sort of a strange view on RSA and the structure of government. I mean, and he reads into a lot of things what he'd like to hear. The rumor I heard about his notion that there are some RNs making over $100,000 at the nursing home was sort of strange. Unless they've gotten an enormous raise in the last 6 months.
I have been looking into that. As far as I know, that is not true.
I'm sure it isn't true.
There's certainly maybe one that is earning over that.
Including their benefits, or just
No, because
and
of
wages?
overtime.
overtime
Overtime, yeah.
and when she works, well, that sort of
And still not looking at the larger picture of, I think we've spent 30% of the overtime budget, and it's now, well, it was up to June, so.
yeah.
yeah,
Although that's going to change with the move, because there's
Absolutely.
going to be some work going into that, but I think she's still going to come in under the total figure.
Mhm. Yes, Mr. Batson.
In the public input part, Commissioner Solomon, you said you talked with Betsy